Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Grace. A lot has changed since the last time I filmed a video and posted it to this channel, so I wanted to share that with y'all. I had twins a few weeks ago, 9 weeks ago to be exact, and here they are. I also got married to the man of my dreams and a longtime friend, and that has been an amazing journey.
Hello.
There he is right there. We both have our own businesses and we get to work together. We're an amazing team and we have a lot of fun. So I wanted to share about something that's super relevant to me right now, and that is how to increase and maintain your breast milk supply. So if you hear that noise in the background, that is my pump. It is pretty much always going, or at least it seems like that. So I'm not an expert. I'm not a lactation consultant. I'm just a woman that is trying to feed two babies, two very hungry little boys. And so I wanted to share a few of the things that I have learned from reading Facebook groups, reading things online, reading books, studying everything, and from my personal experience. So how I increase and maintain my breast milk supply and am able to feed my babies so far for 9 weeks, almost 9 weeks in one day. So my babies were born premature. They were born 6 weeks early. They spent 17 days and 21 days in the NICU. They were also very low weight. Luke, my youngest, was 3 pounds 8 ounces. Josiah, 1 minute older, was 5 pounds 1 ounce. So we wanted to give them the best possible chance to thrive, and to grow and be healthy. So I started pumping from the day they were born in the hospital. I wasn't able to breastfeed them. They were tube fed and they were on oxygen. So even contact with them was very difficult. I was only able to maybe spend a few minutes with each of them every day. And they were connected to a ton of tubes and wires. So long story short, I really wanted to create a supply right away. So the first thing I did was I started pumping in the hospital. I pumped every 3 hours on the dot, even throughout the night. In the beginning, it was just a few drops. It was a little discouraging. It was scary. I think it's scary for all of us, wondering whether or not we're going to be able to do this. But I stuck with it, and every day got to be a little more and a little more and a little more. And soon I was able to build a pretty big stash. So I want to talk about the things that I do. Number one, I still pump to this day. My babies are home now, but they're not able to fully breastfeed like full-term babies. So we do something called triple feeding, which is that I breastfeed them for 10 or 15 minutes until they're tired, until they fall asleep, or if they're just really frustrated at feeding, I don't push them. It's more important that they gain weight. It's more important that they get the milk. It's not for me to push them to achieve it. It's just for me to provide the milk and work with them and be really gentle with them. So breastfeed for 10 or 15 minutes, and then give them a bottle of pumped milk and then pump. That's kind of our routine that we follow. So pumping is hugely important if you're trying to build your supply, because breast milk supply works on demand supply. So the more you demand of your body, the more your body will produce. So I've seen a huge difference when I've skipped pumping sessions versus when I add pumping sessions in. So pumping is very important. Hydration is also very important. I drink about somewhere between 180 to 220 ounces of water every single day. It sounds like a lot, and it is, but it's super manageable if every time you pump, if you pump 8 times, you drink about 20 to 30 ounces of water. I have this Gatorade bottle that is always with me, my constant companion, not sponsored by Gatorade. And this is 32 ounces. I fill this up and drink a full one every time I pump. I also do a couple other things to stay hydrated. I take these Noon tablets in the morning. I take half of one in my first bottle of water every single morning. I drink Gatorade with no dye. I drink Body Armor, and I drink coconut water. The thing with those things is that you want to not overdo it, because all 3 of those things have a ton of sugar. The third thing that I want to talk about is supplementation. So this isn't like a huge part of my routine, but I just want to mention it because I do make enough, and so I don't know if any of these things are contributing to it, but I just don't skip any of the things that I'm currently doing. Like, I can't tell you if it's the pumping that helps or if it's the supplementation or the hydration, but these are all things that I've been doing pretty much since day one, so I just figured just keep doing it. So I am taking prenatal still, just to make sure I'm getting plenty of vitamins and minerals. Right after the babies were born, I was also taking a vitamin C tablet every day and a zinc tablet every day, just to prevent getting sick. So I really didn't want to get sick with newborn babies. I also take iron. I lost a lot of blood when I had the baby, so I started taking this from day one of getting out of the hospital, and then I stopped taking it primarily because I was tired and forgetful, and I noticed a huge drop in my supply just from not taking my iron. So there's something to the health of your blood that contributes to breastfeeding. I'm not going to pretend to know what that is, but it seems important, so I take iron. If you're not low iron, you might consider eating iron-rich foods. I also take magnesium. Doesn't really necessarily help with my supply, but it does help me to relax, and a relaxed body produces more milk. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is frequent breastfeeding, frequent contact with your baby, and skin to skin. In the beginning, I wasn't able to have my babies close to me all the time, so I had to rely on pumping, looking at pictures of them, pumping in the NICU. But if you want to increase your supply, you just need to have your baby close to you all the time. That's what is going to signal your body to produce more milk. The hormones also help you to relax, which again is super crucial for producing more milk. I think that's it. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you're not breastfeeding twins, like most people probably aren't, then there is something that I think is awesome. It's called a Haakaa. You can get it on Amazon. It's a silicone clear thing. It's about this tall. It's very simple, and it just like suctions on to your free breast. So when you have the baby on one side, the Haakaa on the other side, excuse me, and that will catch your letdown, and you can get, depending on your body, you can get anywhere from 1 ounce to 4 ounces every single feeding, and that can add up pretty quickly. So that's a great way to build a stash if you want to build a stash. If you don't want to build a stash, if you don't want that pressure, that's okay too. You don't have to. So yeah, those are my tips. The last thing I wanted to say is that I appreciate the breastfeeding journey because it has forced me to take better care of myself. If I wasn't breastfeeding and I had newborn babies and I had the stress on me that I have right now, I could easily not sleep, not eat, not take care of myself. But because my body is doing this very important thing, it's important for me to take care of my body so that my body can do that very important thing. So I try to eat a lot of protein-rich meals every day. I got lucky. My father-in-law shot a couple of elk just a couple months before the babies were born, so we have tons of frozen elk in our freezer, so I get to eat wild meat all the time, which I think is great. So typically I have oatmeal in the morning. Oatmeal is supposed to be great for increasing milk supply. I have a Quest bar mid-morning. Lunch will be like some ground elk meat with avocado. And then dinner, it's a crapshoot, to be honest. It's like whatever I can find. If my husband brings something home, a frozen pizza. I've been cooking more lately, so I'm feeling a little better and getting back into the swing of things. But the important thing is that I just try to get proteins and healthy fats in. And I was going to talk about rest and relaxation, but to be honest, I don't do that very well. But I do take magnesium, which I think helps with your nervous system and kind of helps me to de-stress and relax in a natural way. So I hope that some of these things are helpful to you if you're trying to breastfeed. One important thing is that it will be hard, but you can do it. Your body's designed to do it. And the most important thing someone told me one time is never to quit on a bad day. So if you're out there doing this, I salute you. My hat's off to you. You can do it. And if you want to share with me some of your tips, I'd love to learn from you as well. Thanks. Take care.